$2.50 the most.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's so expensive.
That sticker shock may hit more of us, as tariffs on goods from Mexico and Canada loom on the horizon, with produce being some of the items consumers will see increase quickly.
Yeah, because we get a lot of fruit from Mexico. So.
Salim Mati is a small produce vendor and says the majority of food he sells comes from both countries, potentially putting him in a tough spot.
Example, mangoes, strawberries, berries, it's gonna be crazy, Now the strawberries, usually we buy it for example, let's say $1. Now we buy it for $3 each.
The tariff breakdown works like this. Normally, consumers can pick up the avocado imported from Mexico for $1.50. But with a tariff on Mexican and Canada goods, the U.S. grocery buying the avocado will now need to pay an additional 25% or close to 40 cents more. They can't afford to just eat that cost, so they'll pass it on to the consumer, raising the price of that avocado to nearly $2. But for even smaller vendors like Mati, the tariff might hit even harder.
I think it's going to be expensive, yeah. Like, maybe $3 or something like that. So it's a lot of money.
And the impacts of the tariffs travel, in this case, to a family-owned business in the Bronx, where you gotta move fast when new produce arrives. Katzman Produce is a wholesale distribution center. The pallets stacked up to the ceiling are filled with the roughly 450,000 pounds of produce they distribute weekly.
Our business is over 100 years old. I'm fourth generation. I have my siblings in it with me now. My father's still here in the market.
Stephanie Katzman, great-great-granddaughter and CEO of Katzman Produce, have been one of New York's largest and longest distributors, partnering with 55 countries internationally. But she says the potential tariff could play a domino effect for their family business and the industry as a whole.
How could something like that impact not only the produce industry, but Katzman, that's been around for hundreds of years, generations? How could that impact you guys?
Yeah, so we were happy to hear that it was paused and there's some more negotiations going on. We have tariffs hit from product out of Mexico, Canada, China, and any other countries in the future where we import product, but we're going to see an increase in cost, and that increase in cost is going to be spread down the supply chain, and consumers are really going to be the ones who feel it when they go shopping.
Those trickle-down costs not only affect distributors, but potential small vendors like Mati. These small pallets right here, vendors that buy in smaller quantities affected by the price hike, meaning that distributors and smaller vendors might have to cut back on their quantity to save some money.
And the price is high, so usually, we buy the stuff cheap, that's why we sell it cheap. And the people, they say, oh, before is $1, $2, $3. It's difficult.
With days left until the pause is set to expire, whether at the distribution center down to the consumer, the cost of fresh produce may be about to change for everyone, leaving many to peel back on purchases or swallow the higher prices. In New York, Denzen Cortez, Cronkite News.